Oh yeah. There's water.
Is it flying all over the place?
Hi, I'm Sohla.
And I'm Ham.
And this is another episode of Mystery Menu.
We get a secret ingredient in a brown paper bag.
And we get 1 hour to make dinner and dessert.
Okay, not super heavy.
You know, it feels really hard.
It's
like
hard?
Rocks.
Yeah, like yuca, but it's a little cold.
Could it be those little containers of ice cream? Not the pints, the smaller ones.
Oh, like those ones
Single
with the
serving?
wooden spoon that could be.
Could be those.
I'm trying to think of the freezer aisle and what like is in that shape, and I can't really
Hot Pockets.
think of anything. Again, that'd be funny if it was just Hot
Out of the
Pockets
box.
again.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, ube.
Cool.
Nice. You know, I've eaten a lot of ube, but I've never actually cooked it.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Really good in desserts. Really good in halo halo. I don't think, have you had it savory?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like in curries and stuff.
I think it'd be cool to go Filipino.
Can you explain what ube is for people who don't know what that ingredient
Oh, well, it's a purple sweet potato. Purple yam it's very, very common in the Philippines. You'll see it a lot in like halo halo.
Sweet potato kind of goes like squash vibes, but ube is like more potato vibes.
Yeah, or
Very
even like
taro.
yuca territory.
Yeah,
Like
and
really,
very, very
really starchy and dense. But delicious.
Could you pick her up?
Yeah.
Maybe she needs to. Yeah, go for it. She needs to be in the arms
Yeah.
of Vaughn.
She needs to feel those biceps against her sides.
I don't know that much about Filipino food.
Stay true to its roots. Ube adobo. Do you think
sounds
that
cool.
would work?
Yeah. that
Maybe
sounds
an
good.
ube and tofu adobo?
Ooh,
Is that too?
Should there be meat in there?
At least keep the meat.
Maybe we need to keep the meat. I want to say pork belly, but there's no time. Maybe it should be chicken.
With like some garlic rice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also really into it just being ube and stock.
What do you mean?
This ube tastes like chicken.
Oh, not just serving ube and stock.
Oh,
like
no.
ube instead of chicken in the adobo.
Yeah,
I think that sounds good. And you get the chickeny flavor from the stock.
and it'll get like really glazed and caramelized.
That sounds good. I think that's
Yeah.
cooler.
Okay, can you fry it into chips? I don't know, some kind of ube salad.
Probably, I don't see why not. I don't see, like, I feel like most starchy things fry well, but like depending on the sugar content, you just need to fry at a lower temp and for a longer time.
Well, you were talking about that Bolivian yam meat thing, which does sound really cool.
The asadito, which is like grated yuca mixed with ground beef, and then you like griddle it on a cast iron griddle, and it gets really crunchy on the outside.
Can you make sugarcane skewers and put the meat on there, and then we like grill it
Oh, that sounds good.
for an app?
And maybe we can serve that with like a peanut sauce, like a spicy peanut sauce. I like that.
There's no vegetable. This
Ube
feels,
is a vegetable.
I guess.
That's the main thing is a vegetable.
Okay. I just want like
Because
a
you don't
green
have
vegetable.
greens in adobo. I feel like
No,
adobo
you
is
don't.
just like the meat, the meatiness,
Yeah.
some vinegar, some soy, and like garlic, right? I think it like turns it into something else once you start throwing greens in it. Time-wise, I feel like there's a lot that you can do with ube for dessert. We've already done halo halo.
Well, okay, since it is starchy, what if we use the starch to go for like a cake?
Okay.
What's tough is the ube needs to steam, so we're not
That's-
gonna have ube to use until like 30 minutes in.
That's the problem is the time. Like what dessert can happen in 30 minutes? Not just that, made with hot ube, because it's gonna be hot right out of the steamer. Can we microwave it?
I feel like that would work.
Yeah, that'll really cut down on the time.
But
If-
I'm kind of into the carrot cake idea. What if we use the steamed ube for a ube cream cheese frosting?
That sounds awesome.
And we'll do grated for a carrot cake.
I'm sold on that. That
Okay.
sounds so good. That
And then
sounds really good. I think
maybe-
it'll look really pretty with like
Yeah.
flecks of purple.
And I kind of want some fruit in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's typically pineapple. I feel like pineapple still works. My mom puts pineapple in
I've
it.
never had a carrot cake with pineapple
She
in it.
does a
I'm
can-
like, that's why I was so confused. I'm like, what dessert are you talking about?
Yes.
Wait, there's pineapple in carrot cake?
No, she does a can of the crushed pineapple in syrup, so you also get like the syrup, so it's like makes it super moist because it's like you're adding an invert sugar.
Is there a way to incorporate coconut milk in this world?
Oh.
That's what I want. I want like some coconut. If we're doing pineapple, then I want pineapple, ube, coconut milk.
That
like those
sounds
are the
good.
flavors.
Yeah. Oh, this should be a real dessert. I'm gonna write this one down, or I'll just put it on my Substack. So coconut milk in the batter, maybe some shredded coconut.
Ooh, yeah. Or maybe the shredded coconut on top. Yeah.
Is there a way to do the cream cheese icing with coconut?
Whip it with some coconut, like coconut cream.
There's a coconut condensed milk.
Oh, then that would work.
What if we do coconut condensed milk with cream cheese and ube?
Instead of cream cheese, would it work with like Coco June?
What's that?
That coconut yogurt, it's really thick. And if you're getting the sweetness from the coconut condensed milk, that I feel like, and ube, steamed ube, you're getting starch from that, should be stable enough if you whip it.
I think that'll work. And then if it's not, I'll just add powdered sugar.
Yeah, and that'll bring it together.
Is there time to get fresh coconut? I'm so good at breaking open coconuts.
Oh, we'll
I
have
just want to show off.
Amelia, to the store. Immediately, to the store to find some fresh coconut. When you get the coconut though, get more than you need because 75% of them are rotten.
I was worried about dessert, but now I'm the most excited for it.
It's the main component I want to eat.
You want to do a roll? We'll bake really fast.
Yeah, that sounds even better. And it'll look really nice.
It'll look really pretty. We'll do like old school piping. We did it.
To the drawing board.
Menube? Okay. We did it. So it's meat on a sugar cane?
Probably pork.
Pork. In honor of the Filipino heritage. A peanut sauce?
Like a spicy peanut. Do you think that needs like an herb, like cilantro or something, or is it good there? I feel like to keep it real.
We don't add an herb?
No greenery.
We don't, no scallion?
No scallion.
No scallion.
We'll just brush it in lard.
Ube adobo? Adobo? I know you're a baby. Those are chunks of ube, and they're in an adobo sauce. And that's like a chunk of garlic. Well, we got sauce, there's garlic. Does that look like
Rice?
rice?
Yeah.
And then dessert.
Make it like a dramatic cake roll.
It'll have the ube cream cheese swirl, right? Inside, or the coconut yogurt, ube in there too, and then there's
the steamed
shredded
ube, right?
steamed ube, and then shredded in the cake. Icing on top, fresh shredded coconut.
That's gonna be really, really fun.
Sparkler? Do we have sparklers?
Well, we can get sparklers.
Can we get sparklers?
And I'm excited for you to crack open a fresh coconut on camera.
It's been a few years, but I was an expert. Every dessert I made as a pastry chef, or every menu had a fresh coconut thing, just because I like to show off.
I think we did. I think this looks good.
Okay.
This is gonna be a good meal.
Yeah, this will be good. Like really heavy, a lot of starch, a lot of fat, a lot of sugar. Feels very Filipino.
This, I think we're splitting right along savory pastry lines.
I'm making a roll cake, so the cake has to bake and fully cool before I can
Yeah, frost it.
frost it. So the odds of that happening are low.
Do you have a game plan? Are you planning on like rolling it in a towel and like throwing it in the fridge?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. So I'm making adapted Ham's blender carrot cake recipe coming soon.
That's a
and then
good plan.
after that, I said I was really good at cracking coconuts. I actually technically only need one, but I want to do more than one just because I love, like maybe I'll get into a group because I loved cracking coconuts.
It was your favorite,
I
like
was
flex
I
and
could get
trick.
it in like one hit before a perfect split. So we'll see.
At the ready, here we go.
Yep.
On 3, 2, 1, begin.
Why didn't I start with this on my station? I don't know.
I haven't worked with this before, so I don't know how this is gonna. This like kind of feels cooked already.
I know.
Like soft. I don't know what's gonna happen.
There's also ube extract. Wow, this looks like dye. What is it? Ube extract? Bump it up. already a little behind.
How long does Anita bake for?
I don't know because this recipe is for a sheet cake, so we're gonna guess.
I'm rinsing my jasmine rice for the garlic rice. I'm gonna just let that soak. Start off with some garlic. This is gonna be the adobo base. Some peppercorns, a bunch of bay leaves. I'm just frying up some garlic. It gets a little toasty. I'm gonna go in with the bay leaves and black peppercorns. There's a certain smell with the toasting garlic, and like as soon as the peppercorns and bay leaves hit that fat and then you smell all of that, you already know adobo's happening. And now I'm gonna go in. I don't usually use stock in my adobo. I'm just using it here since we're making it with ube. I want to still get some like rich chickeny flavor in there, and I'm gonna just reduce the bone broth with these aromatics, and then when it's reduced enough, I'm gonna go in with the soy and the vinegar and everything else. There, I've got my ground pork. Huh, weird. This is not what I was expecting to happen. Huh. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna keep going. We'll see what happens. I tried to grate the ube.
Yeah.
And it just disintegrated in my hands. Like,
That's what I thought would happen.
yeah.
How do you feel like the ube is gonna affect that flavor?
I know like the bases are gonna be good because these are things that I've made before, but I haven't worked with ube before, so I'm not sure how it's gonna react in this environment.
Wow, I've really lost the touch. I would have cracked it by now. Wow, these are dry. There's not much water. Huh, interesting.
Wow.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Wow.
Once you have good juice, strain it. Keep it somewhere safe. I've had it happen where I cracked like 8 beautiful coconuts and then there's a terrible one. And then all that water gets poured into that good stuff and you lose the whole thing. Sometimes you get a rotten coconut. Ooh, that's a good coconut. We're gonna make cocktails with this. Coconut ube cocktails in the coconut shell.
Ooh, okay.
It's gonna be good.
So I got my garlic rice going. I'm just parching the rice in that butter. And we've got 3 different kinds of fried garlic to top it with. So we're going nuts. So my water's in.
What is cooking it before you put water to it?
It coats all the grains and fat. It also kind of starts cooking it, and you end up with grains that are separate after cooked. So you don't get like clumpy rice. So now this is up to a simmer. I'm gonna give this a final stir. Make sure there's no rice stuck to the bottom of the pot. Then I'm just gonna add some cilantro, some Thai chilies, and some shallots to my pork mix. We're gonna hit it with some Maggi seasoning. Think about fish sauce, but instead of fish, it's chicken. Then we're also gonna add some white pepper, some dark soy.
40 minutes. How you doing, Ham?
Okay. How are you
Okay.
doing?
The ube has ubed.
Ube's ube?
Cake's almost cake.
Wow, you're just crushing it.
Okay, I did my dangerous thing and I didn't die. Okay, also fresh coconut water goes bad really fast. So make sure you put it in the fridge right away. If there's room. I'm gonna just pop it in the oven real quick to help pull some of the flesh out. I haven't really worked with this before, so I just wanted to see. It's just very starchy. I'm gonna blend it up with some sweetened condensed milk for my icing. I'm just like really surprised. I think that the ube I've had before, it's been ube extract, because it's not as flavorful as I was expecting. Cake. Okay, that looks good. Really tender, feels fluffy.
How's the taste?
Really soft. I think could have gone a little bit harder on the ube extract, but flavor's nice. Texture is really nice, really tender.
Wow.
Cake. Could have put more extract in, right?
Well, but still, the texture is really
Texture's
nice.
good.
Wow.
Oh. Uh-oh. Whoops, guys, hold on. This happens. I broke the cake. I don't think it wants to be rolled. So we will have sheet cake. Wait, I can fix it. I need the largest round cutters you have. Let's see. We're just gonna make it round. Do you have a tiny cake stand?
I don't think so.
Okay. This is gonna be better, guys. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be like a tall cake. It was so exciting for a second. Should we make it sky high?
Yes.
We'll get that chilled.
So I'm just working this mixture together till it's all homogeneous. Kind of kneading it like bread dough. That gives it kind of like a nice springy texture, which is what I'm looking for this. Almost sausage-like. You see it start to stick together instead of just like falling apart and crumbling. That's what I'm looking for. That tells me that when I put it on the sugar cane, it's gonna stick together and not fall apart. Okay. Next, I'm gonna break down the sugar cane for my skewers. I feel like we're just like butchering our cleaver. We will Venmo you $20. Okay, this is reduced enough, so I'm gonna go in with the soy, in with the vinegar, I'm going in with the coconut milk. Do you have the ube extract?
Yeah, be careful. It really comes out fast.
Okay, oh.
Oh God.
I think I'm gonna pop this in. They seem really kind of delicate. So we're gonna keep them big and meaty. Then we're gonna cover that up and just let that cook. Rice looks like it is almost there. And then let that rest. Just gonna clean up a bit before I continue with the next step. So I have my adobo cooking, my rice resting, and now I just need to form my pork skewers.
Whoa, this is thick. Okay, I haven't used this before. Coconut condensed milk. It's like thick. I think that's gonna be very good for this icing. It's like already icing out of here, so. That's really good. Oh God. Well, that's gonna taste like ube for sure.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we've put the blender through a lot. Very ube-y. I thought that the powdered sugar would make it stiffer, but it made it less stiff. It turned it into a glaze.
That's interesting.
Big twist. What can I do to thicken this up? We don't have any tempered butter, do we?
The adobo, can you taste the adobo when you get a chance? It tastes, something's out of balance and I don't know what.
Whoa. That looks weird.
Right? The coconut milk was like
Should we do it uncovered?
Yeah.
Let it reduce?
Yeah, do it.
Ooh, it's too much vinegar.
Gonna add some sugar?
Definitely needs sugar. Can I take some of this liquid out?
Yeah, take some out.
Okay. Uh-oh. Whoops, guys. Are we doing a really bad job here? Yeah.
I feel like it.
It's incredibly weird.
It's so weird. I don't know why.
I don't know why there's so much water. I thought this would be so easy.
I thought so
Did
too.
the water come out of the ube?
I think it did. Because it was like a lot thicker with the coconut milk.
I tried to do an eggplant adobo. It's really hard to do it without the meat because so much of the meat is what mellows out all the.
But I would think that the reduced bone broth,
No, I
there's a
would've
lot of
thought
reduced
too.
bone broth in there.
Yeah, no,
I thought, but like it's just vinegar.
You want to try this?
It's better, yeah.
It's better. I think it just needs to cook down.
Yeah, just let it cook down. Do you just add sugar
And pepper.
and pepper? Maybe a little more pepper?
Okay. No, I'm tasting the garlic now. It's like thickening at least. I'm gonna chill it and then try and whip it more.
Some cooking off my skewers. And lard.
What does the lard do, like over butter or oil?
Well, lard doesn't burn, and also is like, since we're doing pork, it's a nice added flavor. The skewers look awesome. At least we got that.
I just need one, really. Do you guys have any umbrellas for the cocktail? I think so, yeah. Yeah? Okay. Oh God, oh God. 12 minutes. I'm having such a bad day that I can't even get the umbrellas open. That's better, right? 10 minutes. Huh? Huh? I'm sorry. It needed it.
So now my garlic rice has been rested. So these are all different, it's all different texture of garlic, fried garlic. The chips are light and crisp. The cubes are dense and crunchy, and this is almost like feathery. This is just gonna go into the oven. I wanna make sure it's cooked through.
Smush. Smush.
For the pork skewers, peanut butter, some lime juice, some dark soy.
It looks like adobo.
Yeah, adobo really needs meat.
It looks like hunks of meat.
It does, that's what I was hoping for.
Whoa. Whoops.
1 minute.
Wait, there's what?
They're streamers for the cake.
What? Oh, the cake. The cake. Give me. Wait.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Mine was a complete disaster, start to finish. I kind of just gave up.
It doesn't look like you gave up. You made a layer cake. Wow. Frozen ube fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird texture. It reacts weird. It was like, it was just weird. We microwaved it. It turned into a powder. I grated it. It exploded in my hand. I like put it in reduced bone broth and soy and vinegar, and it turned it into like broth.
It makes sense because you don't freeze potato.
Yeah.
So, unless it's like processed into like a tot or whatever.
So this is the ube that we steamed in the microwave, just to see that it's like the texture of dry cake. Like it's like fully.
Why'd I even make cake?
Yeah, like it could have just been this. Usually I feel like we figure a lot of things out along the way. I'm stumped. I'm like fully stumped.
But we have umbrellas, sparklers.
Festive.
Festive.
Tell me about the drink.
It's all the liquid that seeped out of the ube
As it was thawing?
with coconut water, the cane syrup that the sugar cane was packed in, lime, rum.
Oh, rum.
Well, while you're drinking that, I do want to say that we do have a surprise guest as well.
No,
God.
this is so bad. Let me make another drink.
So like the Filipino ambassador that we're gonna embarrass. Genevieve, hi. How's it
Hello.
going?
Hello. How are you guys?
I'm really sorry that you're here for the worst mystery menu yet.
Yeah,
I'm not
maybe
sorry.
the all-time.
I'm not sorry at all.
It really is.
Yeah, please don't.
But we're starting with an umbrella.
All right, cheers.
All right, cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
Sorry
having
that
me.
it's.
You guys stop
for this
apologizing.
failure.
I'm so excited. I'm excited.
I'm gonna just drink my drink.
Oh.
Until you forget the day.
It's rum, the liquid that leached out of the thawing ube, coconut water, lime, and some sugar cane. So it was challenge ube, garlic rice,
Yum.
and then this was an attempt at ube adobo.
Ah.
Adobo but ube.
Look at how perfectly cooked your rice is already.
Well, that's as good as it gets, Genevieve. So let's
You got
let's focus on the
Okay,
rice.
we're gonna stay positive.
So the skewer is pork, grated ube, Thai chilies, Maggi, shallots, and then it's topped with chicharrones and cilantro. And then there's a peanut sauce on the side with just some lime juice and some more Maggi and some fish sauce. It was a challenge. At the end of this, I still don't think I know how to use it.
We tried microwaving it, and it got turned into this.
Oh, interesting. Oh my God.
And Ham tried to grate it.
Touch it.
Weird, right?
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. That is so crazy.
Let's dig in.
Let's get in here.
Yeah.
I feel like the adobo is going to be the most ube-ish. Let's start with the adobo.
The rice is so good. Rice is really good.
Yeah.
I started with the
The ube.
ube. Your adobo sauce is delicious.
I'm not sure about the texture of the ube.
It got weird.
That's so strange.
It's so interesting how like so much of when we're always talking about flavor, right? We're talking about flavor, but texture contributes to that so much. It's such a fascinating texture. I can't get over it.
The ube simmered in the adobo the entire time, and somehow it's still powdery and dry. Like, how's that possible? What happened? Like, when you simmer like potatoes, sweet, like they kind of soak up some of that liquid that it's cooking in, like a sponge. But this, like, it's like, no, I want to stay dry.
But it's also really grainy.
It's so weird. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, the skewer is really good. I don't know if I taste any ube in it.
They seared beautifully in the lard, and now I think the ube actually did play a part in that. Seeing how dry it is,
That's probably why it seared so nicely. It has like a beautiful color on it as soon as I fried it.
Yeah, maybe this is a place where the texture there, because you don't really taste it per se, but there's a really nice texture.
Should we light up the cake?
Let's light up the
The cake looks amazing. I most often see ube in dessert.
I originally wanted to do a roll cake, but
What kind
this
did
is
you
just like a muffin method,
Oh, okay.
so it didn't roll. In fact, it broke. And it's that thick.
But this is like the beauty of baking. You can always fix them. Am I supposed to try to blow these?
Yeah.
Blow these out.
Oh, okay. There we go.
It's your birthday.
Birthday. Birthday.
It's purple.
The crumb
purple
looks, the
all the
crumb
way
looks
through.
lovely. It looks really good.
The cake's really good.
Like 100% this little thing that you just put out, you could have sold that for like, how much do you think nowadays? $25. And
Okay.
whoever bought it would have been super happy.
I'll just say that was the goal all along. Tiny little layer cake. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna keep eating.
Let's go hold a baby.
Yes. Yeah. I might forget it. I don't want to eat anymore. I just want to hold the baby.